When you're blue and kinda lonely too, you'll find a smile will go a long, long way. Though you're down, don't sit around and frown. A little smile will go a long, long way. Never grieve, just try to make believe the sky is blue, although you know it's gray. Don't you find it's just a waste of time? You'll find a smile will go a long, long way.
To another edition of Ron and Jen's Great Escape. It's our attempt to escape the toxicity, if you will, of conversation these days. It doesn't mean that we don't deal with meat and potatoes.
Thank you for saying that.
You know, but it means we deal with it without the aggravating toxicity that can permeate
That's
the
the second
airwaves.
time you've said that in 10 seconds.
Toxicity.
That's three.
That's three.
Here's why I'm glad you say this, because sometimes we get some emails and people write on our YouTube, if you subscribe to the Ron and Jen's Great Escape, you can write comments underneath, or you can write comments either way. And people say, I think that you're not with the positive. I think that I'm starting to hear a little. And I thought, no, what we said was we're going to be able to have substantive conversations without the toxicity.
No, you said it once.
I did.
I'm too ahead of you.
And that's the word of the day, according to Pee Wee Herman. Without that, and without that crazy anger, you know. So thank you for saying that.
Damn it! All right, now,
damn it!
All right. Here's one of the stupidest stories.
Stupidest.
Day, as we say in pig language.
Yes.
The top idea for the rusty bridge: make it glow. You know the bridge. You know the bridge that's constantly erect, if you will, along the Seekonk River. You see it as you pass 195. You glance over at it. What's your first reaction when you look over and you see that thing?
Why?
Why?
I don't understand.
Exactly.
I honestly, I just think, why?
Why?
Why? But what do I know?
So listen to this. An 11-member jury chose a design from the Horsley Witten Group. You know what they're going to do with it? They're going to light it up. They're going to string lights on it like it's Christmas time.
That.
No, that is ridiculous.
I really like that.
See, this is a civil discourse on something that we disagree with.
I think that's awesome.
Notice the absence of toxicity, if you will. Now I'm 3 ahead of you again. I want to stay at least 3 or 4 toxicities.
Okay.
I just pluralized it, too.
You did.
This is the dumbest thing in the world because one, as you like to say. For one, lighting it up just causes more attention to a complete albatross, which is a terrible, it's horrible. It's a rusty, old, useless bridge. It also underscores the incompetence of how did that thing just freeze in the position that it's in?
Yeah.
And thirdly, or B.
No, you're on C now,
I'm on C?
You're on C.
Why would you want to draw attention to something that is just gross to look at? Just raise the damn thing. I don't mean raise it. It's already raised. I mean kaputski. Just blow it off the face of the earth and put a pedestrian bridge over there. Why not?
Well, I don't know. The definition of infrastructure, I don't know, has changed. And so maybe they don't consider it infrastructure anymore. But see, I do that.
Take it down.
Yeah, but I'm saying with my deck is rickety and it's falling into the bay. And if you hung out at my house, you'd be standing. If you had a cocktail, it'd be tipping out of the glass.
You can't have that.
No, you can't have that. But what I did was I put these lights. And so all of the lights, the sun hits them. So it's the solar lights. And then at night, it's so beautiful. But then day comes and you see it. It's blah. But you can take some of the blah away by making it really sweet and beautiful at night.
You can take all of the blah away by raising the damn thing.
Yes, but that costs taxpayers dollars. And I don't want my money going there right now.
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
Should customers be required to show proof of COVID-19 vaccinations? That's a lot of people are wrestling with that. My next door neighbor here at Chez St. Pierre, he owns a local hardware store. And he says he's dealing with that left and right. You know, people come in, some wear masks, some don't wear masks. Dirty looks are being bandied all about. So, I mean, should we have to show proof of vaccination?
No. I don't think so.
I agree with that.
No, I absolutely, listen, I go to kickboxing. I love kickboxing, little plug for my pals in Seekonk, great place. And
so you can do that on podcasts
Yes, you
without
can.
having to go through
it's
some
free,
corporate.
Candace. Remember that.
Yeah, you can do that on a podcast without having to go through like all these seminars online for different huge companies because it's called payola. If you do it on,
that's
on,
right.
on the
and
radio.
you sign a contract.
Yeah, and now we're completely
You're called into the
we're
office.
completely hip to the fact that we couldn't do that if we were on the radio. You can do that in a podcast.
And
so.
I'm going to do it because I love these people.
Sure.
But
It's called whoring it out. But anyway,
yeah,
we
well,
move on.
no, I believe in what they do. So I wear a mask when I go in, and hardly anybody else wears a mask now. And so nobody has mask shamed me. And the thing is, though, here's the thing about this whole vax card thing, Ron. Some people many of my friends wear a mask even though they've been vaccinated because their parents are weak and they ask them to, or because they have an infant at home and they just want to be sure because there's so many question marks about this virus. And all of a sudden, isn't it strange how no more masks? That's it. It's over. And I mean, we know it's not, but no more masks. Just all of a sudden, it feels like everything's back to normal.
Well,
over the weekend and during the heat wave, the things we saw, we'll get to that. The things you didn't want to see, coming out of the woodwork after a year. Everyone's so pasty. But I mean, it looks like people on the trail, they're biking, they're hiking, they're having coffee outside. It seems like life is normal again.
All right, you're going to take.
It's not.
You're going not even close. You're going to take charge of this story, and
I am.
you take the reins on this one because
I know what you think.
you are the one of the two of us here who served in the military. Thank you for that, by the way.
You're welcome.
So ramp it up. This is a really interesting story.
Well, this is. And, the story's been out for a little over, I think, a week now, 5 to 7 days. But a lot of people don't know about this because it's sort of been buried. The Supreme Court, guys, they could disclose. They're going to come to some decision. But, in general, the military, the Department of Defense also, they could make it mandatory, perhaps, for women to get drafted the same way that men do. When you're 18, should you go and sign up?
Sign up.
I have my father's registration card, by the way. Oh. And the thing about it is the American Civil Liberties Women's Rights Project got involved. Rhea Tobacco Mars, she said, here's the problem with this. It imposes a serious burden on men that's not being imposed on women. Okay, but she also said it's also sending a tremendously harmful message that women are less fit than men to serve their country in this particular way.
Interesting.
And conversely, that men are less fit than women to stay home as caregivers in the event of an armed conflict. So if you're confused, she's actually supporting this.
Double-edged sword.
Yeah, so I love the idea, and here's why. Today's youth. Wouldn't it be nice to say, hey, I don't know, Sophia or Bernadette or Gladys, time for you to go to boot camp for a couple years, get in the best shape of your life, serve this nation. Perhaps you'll have a better idea of the beauty of living in the United States of America.
Gladys?
Well, whatever. Jeanette, I don't know.
Jeanette.
Maybe Jeanette should join the Army. I think it's great. Wouldn't you want to see young men and women going to serve their country en masse? I think it's a great idea.
What a lot of people forget.
Of course I do, though.
What a lot of people forget is men 18 and over, you still have to sign up. There is no draft, and there has not been since the Vietnam War. However, you're still expected to, legally, you're expected to still sign up. And if you don't, you could be looking at $250,000 fine. Of course, it's hardly ever slapped on anybody. But the other thing is, you're not going to be eligible. You could not be eligible for a job within government, and also student loans.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
It's
Wow.
Right here.
Oh, well, I didn't want to read the whole story.
You can lose eligibility for student loans and civil service jobs if you don't sign up.
Well,
so there hasn't been a draft, and I got to tell you a quick story about that. I was in high school at St. Ray's when
I have pictures. The hair. He had so much hair.
Yeah, and the Vietnam War was still ablazing, and as deep into my junior year.
Were you scared?
Frightened.
Really?
Are you kidding me? And, the race was on just to get accepted to a college anywhere. But by the time I was a senior, it was peace with honor, to quote the late Richard Nixon. So, but the fact of the matter is, you're still supposed to sign up if you're 18 years old and you're a guy.
Well, and here's the other reason why I support this. Besides the fact, quickly, that it got me in the best, condition mentally, spiritually, physically of my life for, the 5-6 years I was in. I mean, here's the women. If you say, I want to get paid as a man gets paid, I want to be able to do all the things that men do. I want to play in the NFL. I want to play in the, soccer leagues. I want equality. That's what I'm trying to say. Well, you want equality, then you have to follow with the rules, in this way that what men are doing. You want to be on the front lines. Well, it comes with a price. You want to do certain things in life. I hate the idea that when people say, I want equality with an asterisk, though. I want to define what equality means for me. I want to design it, or women want to design. It doesn't work that way. Equality is equality. Period.
It's an umbrella situation.
Yeah, I mean, there are shades of gray in certain situations, but I mean, typically equality, and I feel that way when we talk about race. Everybody wants to be equal. Well, it seems as though there are some disparities in our culture right now, where one group now is not even fit to be equal. You just read between the lines, push those folks aside, and then everybody else, that's being culturally accepted is good.
The big report that you've been waiting for with bated breath.
I did.
You and George Norrie and the rest of the folks who listen to Coast to Coast. Well, apparently our government says UFOs are not aliens, not manned by aliens, strange creatures from another planet.
They don't know that, though.
With powers and abilities far beyond those of normal man. No, but they're still unclear of their origins. So,
how can they say that?
In other words, maybe there's UFOs out there, but we don't think that there's alien people driving them.
All right. See, you know what this report was? A bowel movement. Because I waited. I was so excited. And I should have known. Oh, did they hook me and dupe me? And then what does it say? Well, there's something out there. We definitely will tell you people that. All of the masses. There's something. But we're not sure what it is. How can you not be sure, Rod? Experts, the Department of Defense, the folks at the Pentagon, Area 51, they know. They don't think we're ready to know yet.
There's UFOs out there, but we don't know who the hell's driving them.
Yeah,
and where they're from. So if you compare this to a bowel movement, you're still impacted.
Yes, I am.
Right.
Hey, but
Wow.
The thing is, go to YouTube. Oh, it's a good video. Go to YouTube and this guy named Dr. Lear, he takes that, well, he's passed now, but he took out alien implants and people that said they had them. And he was in Turkey, and I don't know how he got this, but he videotaped a flying saucer, and in the saucer you see beady little eyes that are green. They're beady little tiny little eyes, and there's 2 beady eyes. Well, there's 4 beady eyes driving the ship. So YouTube, Turkey UFO, check it out.
So is it 2 aliens from another planet piloting this thing because they both have 2 eyes, or are we looking at an alien with 4 eyes?
It could be Jabba the Hutt with 4 eyes, a big old blob. I don't know.
I'll tell you who's loving this. It's the annual Laughlin UFO Mega Conference.
Ooh.
And it is underway in Laughlin, Nevada.
People watching there will be fun.
Yeah, so they got a big boost. They got a big boost out of this. They didn't get a lot of information, but you know who right now thinks that aliens could unite humanity?
I don't know.
It's not George Norrie, and it's not the spirit of the late Art Bell.
Yeah,
it is
God
former
rest.
President Barack Obama.
Ooh.
He says that he doesn't know where UFOs come from, but if they are aliens, he would hope that they would unite humanity. So he's hoping for E.T. and not Independence Day.
Well, remember what Stephen Hawking said before his passing. Do you remember what he said? No. I remember he left an indelible mark on my brain. This is what he said. If you guys see aliens out there, run. As he said,
that's right. That's
run
right.
I can't
That's
run,
right.
but you run as fast as you can. That's
right.
what he said.
He did say
They're
that.
not going to be friendly.
So you're thinking they're going to be Independence Day, and they're not going to be E.T. phone home.
No, I highly doubt they'll be cuddly, hiding with toys and dolls.
Of course.
Stretch Armstrong.
Do you remember going to see, when you were in the movies and you saw the trailer for Independence Day, and when the White House blew up, everybody cheered? Remember that? It's
Who
ingrained.
was in office? Was that Clinton or Bush? Or
I think Clinton was in office then.
Really?
It might have been Bush. It might have been
It
Bush.
had to be Bush.
I don't know. But everybody applauded when the White House blew up. I thought that was such a hoot. One of my favorite
so
scenes in that
awful.
movie, which
Man,
is it's a corny movie, but
humans
it's a
just
corny
suck. We
movie.
suck.
It's a corny movie, but it's a
We're
fun
awful.
movie.
Watched it.
One of my favorite scenes is the girl who's she's a stripper, if you will.
Vivica Fox.
No, she works with Vivica Fox.
Oh, that's
and she
that lady.
goes to a big party when the big ship is about to open up its
Yes,
principal weapon.
she's on the top of the building.
What's she holding? What's the poster that she's holding?
Well, I don't know, but I was going to say I know what she said. It's so beautiful. What
and
does the
somebody,
poster say?
it might be her, but it's somebody on that building at the same party that says, "Welcome back, Elvis," or "Have you seen Elvis?" or something
That's
like
awesome.
that. But anyway, we move on. Thank you for no answers, government,
Yeah,
once again,
really.
for something that we all waited for. Let's go back to local because if you want to put your tootsies in the water on the Cape. The Cape shark detections have risen big time. 118 great whites detected in the waters off the shores of the Cape last year.
Wow.
While only 11 sharks were detected 8 years ago. So apparently something's going on that's drawing a lot more great whites to the shores on the Cape.
Yeah, well, just this year?
This year, yep.
Yeah, a lot of really white. Let's talk about that. White, pasty people, Ron.
Prime hunting.
Yes, during the heat wave. I mean, I thought, when did the tube top come back? I had no idea. I saw some girl roller skating. All right, check this out. Her boyfriend or friend, he had a Speedo on with roller skates with 4 wheels, not rollerblades, with pom-poms. And then the girl had a thong on, and she had this really, I thought, is this Miami Beach? What the heck's going on?
Venice Beach.
I mean, maybe they wanted to somebody to videotape them and have it go viral. I don't know.
This is something we talked about a while back. Maybe one of the.
I didn't want to see it.
Maybe one of the first couple of podcasts.
Not at all.
I brought up that once the restrictions come down, which they're starting to do aggressively now, it's going to be the Roaring 20s again. Everybody's got the biggest case of cabin fever, and they got to scratch that itch. And right now, most of the itches are on very, very pasty legs.
Yeah.
Very,
well, to
very
include me, look
pasty
how
legs.
white I am.
Yeah,
Everywhere. My legs are even worse.
Yeah, I'm not a sun.
Terrible.
I'm not a sun bunny. I've never been a sun bunny.
Neither
My
am
wife
I.
Patty
No.
certainly is. She loves the sun. She loves the
Really?
heat.
Oh.
But she's very respectful of what the sun can do to you too. So there's a lot of pasty legs out there. A lot of pasty.
You don't even have
legs.
hair on your legs. He
I do.
wears tube socks, and where he wears
I
tube
don't
socks,
wear tube socks.
you do. There's no hair there.
I haven't worn tube socks since maybe the 70s.
Yeah, that's not true. You used to wear little tube socks to work, and one day you said,
No, they're
you know
ankle.
what?
They're ankle socks.
Well,
they're runner's socks.
They look like tube socks.
No,
to
they
me.
don't. They're runner's socks. Tube socks go way
He has no
high.
hair under where his socks are.
Let's move
Isn't
on
that weird?
away from my pasty legs. But boy, I'll tell
Okay.
you what, wear the sunglasses, my friends, because
Yeah.
everybody's breaking out the shorts, and those pasty legs are really ruling these days.
Nasty.
Let's comment a little bit of remember when,
Yeah.
or unusual history, how things get started. Let's meld this stuff together.
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered why there are no mosquitoes at Walt Disney World? Think of where that's located. There are no mosquitoes
I
at
have
Walt
to
Disney
tell
World.
you something, though. See, I never even thought about when I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
There are no bugs here. I just am so overjoyed to be in the happiest place in the world that I didn't know that. But I would like to know why.
First of
Inquiring
all-
minds want to know.
First of all, it's Central Florida, right?
Yeah, so there's always big bugs.
Not just big bugs,
And
but
snakes.
there's always
Oof.
stagnant water. Stagnant water
stank.
because it's Central Florida. There's no breeze.
That's nasty.
There's no ocean.
No.
Right? So there's a lot of stagnant water. This is really, really interesting. Back in Walt Disney must have been one interesting cat. You know, I'm
that
sure
man
he was.
did acid.
Oh, I'm sure.
I swear to God, he dosed.
I'm sure he had Lewis Carroll's party rules.
Yeah.
You know, and the mushrooms. You know, whatever.
That
but
man was on acid.
he was a thinker. No question about
Well, yeah.
that. And apparently, in the 1964 World's Fair, he hooked up with a retired Army general. His name was Joe Potter. This guy was a retired Army major who worked. He was the governor of the Panama Canal Zone.
Okay.
All right? So can you imagine the size of the mosquitoes during the Panama
The
Canal?
size of your noggin, probably.
Well, and of course, those are malaria-harboring mosquitoes. They're extremely dangerous. Apparently, this guy figured it all out. He was a graduate of MIT. He was an engineering expert, and he figured out it was all about stagnant water. So when that starts it.
I'm waiting.
So when you go to Walt Disney World, look around.
Mm-hmm.
Look, because the water, it's always moving. If you see like decorative fountains, there's a reason for that. It's to keep the water moving. You look at the design of the buildings. All the buildings are designed so the water would roll off and not form any stagnant pools.
Isn't that interesting?
And the other
they got
thing,
alligators, but no mosquitoes.
Yeah, well, they try to keep the gators under control.
Some kid got eaten.
You got
like
gators
5
there.
years ago.
Well, he bought up all that land. It was all swampland when he bought it up. Nobody knew what he was doing because he was buying it under different names and what have you. But that's one of the reasons, because mosquitoes lay their eggs in standing, stagnant water. And the other thing is, all of the plants that they have, none of those plants, they're all anti-mosquito landscaping. Some of those plants eat the bugs.
I mean, what?
Yeah,
Really? This
yeah.
is Jurassic Park stuff
And
right
then
here.
lastly, the last thing
Yes.
that is big is that Disney insisted that there would be no pesticides used on the property. They're not using pesticides on the property. They use something called garlic spray. I didn't know this. Mosquitoes despise the smell of garlic. So what they
Ooh.
do is they spray they spray garlic, but not enough for human beings to notice. But the mosquitoes are like, ooh, I'm not digging that. So that's why there are no mosquitoes at Walt Disney World.
Well, that's
Can you imagine
very
that?
interesting. Well, I know. I've never imagined
There's
it.
a
but
little cocktail icebreaker from
Yeah.
your Uncle Ron.
I mean,
and
next
you can use
time
it
you go to
anytime you
Disney
want.
or next time you're at a cocktail party, you can have a great discussion
Look
with
around.
somebody that you don't really want to be talking to. Don't you hate that about
on the
cocktail
bus.
parties?
On the
Yeah,
bus.
or on the bus.
Disney buses.
That somebody turns around and
Right.
you're thinking, just don't.
Don't.
And I'm sorry, I
Please
don't mean
don't.
to be that person, but
Don't.
I do get that way.
Please
don't
don't.
talk to me. Just let me stay in my nice Gen zone. I'm in
Don't.
a good spot.
Don't.
So, how many times have you been to Disney? My wife and 10 children. This is our 20th time.
You know what you say to these people?
Oh, my God.
The moment they ask you, and then it's inevitably followed up with, where are you from and what do you do, right? So if you want to tell them where you're from, that's fine, or you
What
can
do
just
you
make
do?
you can
I
just
don't
make
know.
this up. That's the key.
I don't
That's
know
the
what
key.
I'm doing.
You want to shut somebody up
Yeah.
that you don't want to talk to,
What are you gonna
make a little
say?
chit chat with, whether it be at Disney World, on the buses, or whether it be on the airplane, or any airplane to anywhere.
Yeah.
Tell them you sell insurance or that you're a Jehovah's Witness, and watch how fast they shut up.
That's true.
Boom. I sell life insurance. Boom. They're back to their book like this. Or I'm a Jehovah's Witness.
I'm a phlebotomist.
I'm a Jehovah's Witness. Then they're forcing their way to the exit door. They're ready to jump out of the plane.
Oh, my God.
At that particular point. Did you
Actually,
watch?
I could say I just got out of prison.
There's
I
another
murdered
one.
my entire family.
There you go. And how are you?
How you doing today? This
Yeah.
is my first trip since prison.
And where are you from?
Whereabouts are you located?
Exactly. What's your
That'll
zip
shut
code?
'em up.
What's your zip code if I can find you?
Da-na-na,
So I can find you.
na-na-na-na-na.
Yeah, really. It's the happiest place on earth.
Yeah.
When you were growing up, did you watch Walt Disney's show on NBC on the
I
weekend?
did. Every Sunday night.
I never watched it.
What?
I
Really?
I love Disney World.
Sunday at 7.
But that went through all different
Yeah.
kinds
Escape
of...
from Witch Mountain with
Oh,
Kurt Russell.
yeah.
That I for some reason I remember that in a couple little other movies with Jodie Foster, but that was one of my favorites. Escape from Witch Mountain with Kurt Russell.
Do you know that show started, and it went through all different shapes and forms over the years, but it actually started airing on the network in 1954.
Oh, I didn't know
As
that.
far back as that. And then
Wow.
at one point, it was Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color. And that was like in the early 1960s. My family didn't have a color TV set, so I'm like, I'm watching. What is this all
Ron.
about? I'm talking about making a screwed up kid. Screw
You
me
ate
up and like.
Spam, you wore your sister's hand-me-downs, and you didn't have color TV.
Well, we had it.
And now look
eventually.
where you are.
Yeah, right.
What a blessing.
Look at where I
See
am
how
now.
you went from Park Bench to Park Place.
Yeah, right. And then I'm
Ain't
in
it
my
great?
home doing a podcast. But anyway,
Hey, listen.
it just didn't work out
Do
for
not
us.
despise humble beginnings.
The Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color in black and white at the St.
Yeah.
Pierre household. All right. Let's move on to trending.
Yes.
And one particular name is
Well,
really...
I think you skipped over something.
What did I skip over?
Jen's News.
Oh, goodness. I'm so sorry.
How dare you?
Because I do look
Is it
forward...
that forgettable?
I do look forward to this.
Curse you,
and
Ronzo.
I look forward to the theme more than anything else. So.
It's time for my news. What is it, Ron?
It's Jen's News.
Jen's News. Yeah. There it is.
All righty.
All right. I have just a few little things on the docket for you today.
A couple of
few little ditties.
Yeah.
I thought this might really uplift some people. So I know a lot of people feel as though they won't make it to 102, but you might these days. Who knows?
102.
A 102-year-old woman gave her advice. Her name was Annie Mae Berlin. Okay, she gave her advice on getting up to 102. How on earth did she make it? You might say, is it? Oh, we know what it's going to be. It's going to be bacon sandwiches and scotch.
It always cigarettes, 6 packs a day. You know.
No, well, and this is why you're not going to live long, because she said you got to mind your own business.
Yep.
People don't do that. People always up in everybody's business. We peek out the windows. We look in each other's cars as we're driving down the highway. We watch each other in Walmart to see who's going to park in the handicap spot.
It's true.
We never stay in our lane. So she said that's the first key. She had a big birthday celebration. She looked mighty spiffy, it says here. She had lots of jewelry and a crown on her head.
Good for her.
And the interview she says the other thing, you have to be obedient to your parents and also faith. Those are keys.
Those are refreshing, because usually you're
nice?
Exactly right. It's like, I smoke cigarettes. I drink scotch since I was 2.
I know somebody that has been smoking 10 packs of Chesterfields for 50 years. They live to be 107.
That is refreshing.
Nice? Obey your parents, mind your own business, and pray.
All right. What's her name again?
Annie Mae Berlin.
Annie Mae Berlin. Basically, what she's saying is when they lay you on the table, you best keep your business clean.
That's right.
You like that?
Yeah, I do. Hey, you ever think about going for a naked bike ride?
No.
I saw some, as I was driving up the road here, I saw there were 2 bikes outside this person's home, and I thought, oh, this could be a good story for that. If you have no shirt, no pants, or undies, you're going to be great. You can go on this, just a mask. They're only asking that you wear a mask.
That's it. And the buff the rest of the way.
Yeah, so on this bike ride, it's called Philly, it's in Philly, obviously. Organizers of the annual Philly Naked Bike Ride say this year's event, which is going to take place on August 28th, you can be completely naked, but you have to wear a mask. So there's your heads up. But they said based on the city's earlier coronavirus restrictions. Can you imagine riding a bike naked?
Well, I bet the best.
You slide off the seat because your butt gets sweaty.
Well, if you invest,
that's nasty.
You got to invest in a really good quality gel seat.
Yeah.
All right, because man, that can be bad.
Sometimes it says ride participants, sometimes in the thousands, usually gather in a park and they strip off their clothes and paint each other's bodies before carefully hopping on their bikes.
That's a lot of chafed butts.
Yeah,
a lot of chafed butts.
And then one more. Okay, then this is kind of serious. I mean, it's very serious, but it also falls in the middle of that Art Bell stuff. The Energy Secretary, her name is Jennifer Granholm.
Yeah.
Okay, she admitted a few weeks ago that, I didn't know if you guys heard this, that our enemies are capable of shutting down the U.S. power grid. And I'm not going to get into detail, all the minutiae. You just need to know the headline, because if you think the coronavirus is a bad situation, can you imagine how it shut down everything? How we have no electricity. That means no banking. That means no gas.
It means nothing.
That means nothing. That means no electricity in your home, no internet. Your cell phone's going to die unless you have a solar charger, which I highly suggest you get. There won't be food and supplies coming from across the country and all different. It will shut everything down.
It will.
Hospitals will be shut down but would your generator work?
It runs on gas, but I mean, so that would be a
long?
victim. That would be a victim too.
Yeah. So anyway,
everything would be a victim to the grid.
Yeah, she said that working with other countries, working with the private sector, working inside of our own government. The feds, they've been issuing executive orders trying to make sure that our house is in order, trying to make sure that citizens are able to protect themselves, and they're trying to do everything they can against these cyber attacks. But she said there's going to be a lot more, so stay tuned.
I saw Raimundo have comment on that on network on George Stephanopoulos, so that was ABC This Week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, This Week with George Stephanopoulos. I guess he took time off from hosting Jeopardy.
Yeah.
To get back into
He's
that.
He's a likable guy, I guess. I mean, his wife, not so much. Allie's something.
Let's move on to
let's
move on to stuff that's trending. And one particular name of note is not only trending, it is tanking, and it's tanking big time.
Why do you think that is?
It's not an Agnes, it's not a Mabel, it's not a Hazel,
Jeanette.
it's not a biblical name, it's not a precious gem or a month of the year. It's Karen.
Yeah, Les Karens will be asking for the manager after data reveals that the name has plummeted in popularity In 2020, that's the lowest ranking for the name. Well, they don't even say the ranking of it. It's just, it dropped 171 spots in baby name rankings for girls in 2020, coming in as the 831st most popular name. So,
how come? Why is Karen so unpopular?
well, why do you think?
I don't know. I mean, you're such a Karen. I actually hear people say that.
Okay, for
you
those,
know, you're such a Karen.
No, I know. Don't. I hate when people. That's not nice. When if you ever get called a Karen, that's not nice. I mean, I hope people are hip to this. You know, for those unaware, a Karen is typically a white entitled woman who throws public tantrums thanks to a perceived victim mentality.
That's I don't know. So somebody just arbitrarily chose Karen as the.
Well, no. Here's what happens. So after George Floyd, you know, there's a lot of racial unrest in this country. You know, online and in person, all this. Well, there was a white woman who went into some. I don't know. It was a store, a restaurant, or it was a clothing store. But she went and berated the black person.
All right, so there is an
that
origin.
was working behind, and her first name was Karen.
Okay, so there's
Karen something.
I take it back.
Yeah.
I claim ignorance on
and
that.
everybody else now is called a Karen.
Well, that's unfortunate, because if you're an innocent Karen, if you're an innocent person named Karen, that stinks. That sucks.
I guess if it's Karen, you're doomed, but you can spell it Karin.
But what if you were just given, at birth, you're given that Karen? That's not fair.
I guess.
What, they go to Home Depot and get a broad brush to paint with?
I mean,
That's
I
not
suppose.
fair.
I mean,
Right. So
I
you
hope
know
there are no other Donald Trumps in the world. I mean, there's one. We know he was our president. But if there are other Donald Trumps out there, you're getting a lot of hate mail.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't.
So Karen has fallen big time in terms of popularity. You know what the number one popular name for a girl is, once again?
Sophia.
No, it's Olivia.
Olivia,
which is a nice name.
It's
I like
pretty
that.
name.
Top 10 baby names for boys. Among the top 10, Liam comes in still at number 1.
That's kind of cool. It's different. I like different names.
I guess because maybe the popularity of Liam Neeson.
I don't think so.
Bananish.
Yeah, I don't think he's popular anymore. I think we know him because we're old.
He said something stupid.
That was an old man thing to say.
He said something
I just
stupid.
want to tell you that.
Yeah, well, he said something
Sorry,
stupid
pal.
recently too. I
Did
think it was
he?
on the Today Show. I can't remember, but he's still carrying that.
Leo.
Top 5: Liam, Noah,
Neeson.
Oliver, Elijah. And
Elijah,
William.
that's nice.
William still comes in. There's a meat and potatoes name, William.
What about Ron? Where on the list is that? Did you
Ron
look it up?
is nowhere to be found. I did not look it up. No.
Ronald Leo.
Here's one for you.
That's quite a name.
Ronald Leo. That's my father's name, so don't
Ronald.
bust.
I'm just
Don't
saying.
bust chops.
Yes.
Before we move on to food news,
Yes.
I just wanted to let you know that this is pretty amazing. Almost half Americans believe dinosaurs still exist somewhere in the world. Half.
Are you surprised? Well, I mean, the alligator and the shark, they are kind of prehistoric looking.
They are.
Don't you think?
But they're not dinosaurs. You know, they look
What
prehistoric, but they're
qualifies-
not dinosaurs.
If the definition of things is changing, maybe we can change the definition of dinosaur.
You can do it if you want.
We
that's
can.
fine. But my
What's the
definition,
definition of dinosaur? Lived a long time ago with itty bitty arms and really.
like Steve Cass when the check came.
Yeah.
It was a little dinosaur.
Yeah,
It was a little
that's
alligator
right.
arms. But that's
Steve.
amazing.
Steve.
Real quick story. Remember they used to bring. There was a thing that came around summertime, and it hit Roger Williams Park on several times. Just called The Dinosaurs. It was during the whole the premiere of Jurassic Park. I went to see them. I'm in line with my wife, and it was a very popular event, and it was a long line of people getting in. And we're waiting, and we're just kind of eavesdropping on what people are talking about. The couple in front of us, 2 women, one turns to the other and says, "What? They're not real? I want my money back." So this doesn't surprise me that there are that number of people out there who think dinosaurs still exist.
And I try to be kind. I do. I try to be kind, and I say, I get it, and as a Christian, I don't want to say, but I mean, at some point, can't you say, you're just so stupid? You're an idiot.
Well,
we don't have any T-Rexes running around the Amazon rainforest. You're a nincompoop.
Or Roger Williams Park, I might add. But, why spoil their fun, I guess.
I
And
guess.
also, why spoil a good fundraiser for Roger Williams Park? All right. Food news today. I thought you'd get a real kick out of this. We have no Eat This this week.
We haven't had
Or
Eat
this
This since
podcast,
those
the
stupid seaweed chips.
So, this is beautiful. A Utah grandmother's headstone. All right. They actually buried her, and I guess it was her request that her famous fudge recipe would be on her headstone.
Oh,
so
that's kinda
the actual
cool.
ingredients of this woman, Catherine K. Andrews.
Yeah.
All right? Catherine K. Andrews. She checked
God
out
bless her.
back in December. God rest.
Yes.
Back in December of 2019. And when they buried her, they put her famous fudge recipe right there for everyone who's going to visit.
Well, now you know we got to make
Catherine
this.
K. Andrews.
We got to make. Can I have that? Because I'm going to make it.
I got to look it up.
I got one more week of this crazy thing
All right.
I'm doing.
All right. I got to look it up. You're on what, like a 28-day binge or something like
well,
that?
it's a 28 binge. I wish it was a 28-day challenge because I binged for the 13 months I was in lockdown, and so anyway, it was just it's a very strict diet with a lot of working out. So
You're basically getting the toxicity out of your system, is what you're saying.
Basically,
Yes.
oh my God,
All right.
terrible.
I snuck it
my
in.
underpants didn't even fit anymore.
I
That's
snuck
how
it in
fat
there.
I got.
I snuck it in again.
Yeah,
Toxicity.
yeah,
Oh, I just did
toxicity.
it again. All right. And before we part company,
Oh, God, yes. Oh, we're almost done already?
And yeah, we are.
Wow.
Before we part company,
stinks.
and I strap it on, as we
Yeah.
like to say in the music industry.
Yeah.
Check out this story. I'm going to let you do that one while I take care of business.
Now, I mean, had I known back in 2000 that the guy that brought us to the Super Bowl 2000 would be worth this much money, I would have saved my Tom Brady rookie card. I had one.
Look at the price
Yep.
of that.
If you have some Tom Brady rookie cards, or maybe it's time to look. You think you might lying around. It might be time to unearth them. For the second time in 2 months, a Brady rookie card sold at auction early, just a few weeks ago. It set a record. You're not going to believe this.
Cha-ching!
I mean, this lucky person, it sold for $3,107,000. Well, 3,107,000. It sold for over $3 million.
Didn't know there'd be math, did
yeah,
you?
no.
But it's kind of a special card. It's got it have his autograph
heck?
on it or something like that. It's
Yeah,
like,
I was going to keep
it's
reading.
fancy.
Okay. That surpassed the previous rookie card. See, this is easy. Of $2.25 million, which was set in April. That was sold to an undisclosed buyer. So who bought this card? The card is a 2000 playoff contender championship rookie ticket card. That's a mouthful. That was graded higher than the one sold in April. The record-breaking card sold, it was rated a mint 9. Okay, I guess mint 9 is pretty high. Yeah, that's it. There were 32 bids, and the auction opened up at $750,000.
So don't throw out the cards.
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
throw out the comic books. Take some
that's
time
right.
to take a peek. I wish I had the access to the internet when I was a kid. When I was in my teens. Then I could have said, Ma, don't throw those things out because they're worth plenty of money.
Yeah, well, the card, by the way, it features an autograph, and it shows Brady dropping back to pass in his New England Pats uniform. Oh, Ron, I can't believe it's over. I did get exhausted by the math that I had to do, though.
I thought you were going to say that it features Tom Brady dropping back and dropping trow.
No.
Which is what he
that
did.
would be worth something.
Which is what he did with us, by the way. Thank you very much, Tom Brady. Have yourself a good day,
We'll
a
see
good
you
week,
next time.
good month, whenever this airs. Just have a good time, all right?
No math.
And
Next time.
pass the word
Yeah.
about Ron and Jen's great escape. It's an escape from what, Jen?
From all the stuff that's gross in the world.
All the
toxicity. Oh, I didn't pick that up,
All
Ron.
right, we'll catch you later.
You'll find a smile will go a long, long way.